I'm Chad. You're watching Squarebody Stuff. Welcome back to Squarebody Stuff, everybody. We're going to be working on Squeaky again. I should probably just rename this channel to Squeaky, The Adventures of Squeaky or something like that. But anyhow, the last two videos we put out, if you haven't seen them, go back and watch those. We had a really good time. We were able to take Squeaky down to Texas. Went to Gainesville, Texas for this Classic Truck Nationals and truck show. Had a lot of fun there, met a lot of fans, a lot of you guys out there. That was really cool for me to see you guys in person, you guys to see Squeaky in person. I got to meet some old friends that I've met throughout this journey. And then that Sunday, we went to XRP. And I say we, Ryan Wing, my good buddy from Streetcar Chronicles, he put us up for the weekend in his house. And we just hung out and had a lot of good time. So go check that video out. And then this past weekend, we loaded up again, 2 weekends in a row, went to Springfield, Missouri. Actually, Ash Grove is where the venue was, to the C10 Cruising Show. We went to this one last year and I think the year before. Great show, probably the best show in Missouri, I will say that. And yeah, we had a good time there. Met some more of you fans, met some old friends, hung out with people, had a good time there. And then we loaded up, and on our way home, we stopped by my local drag strip, Ozark Raceway Park, that I always go to, just to make a couple passes since we were in the area. The air was great. Had a few changes we made on the truck, mainly the front tires. We put some Hoosiers on the front. They're lighter, they have way less rolling resistance. Didn't see any gains down in Texas, but as a new track, I only had a couple passes to make. It wasn't a great scenario, so we made two personal bests. Right off the trailer, didn't pop the hood, didn't do nothing, just off the trailer, made a pass. It was a personal best, and then the next one was a personal best that topped that, except for 60 foot. 60 foot wasn't as good, but still yet, went as fast as it's ever gone on this engine, this combination, still this far away from being my all-time personal best. So go watch that video, go watch both those videos, get caught up on what we've been doing. Now, we're gonna address a situation that I've had several comments about. I've been concerned about it, but not so concerned about it, is the issue with Squeaky smoking. Now, the biggest issue I have with the amount of oil that's burning is when we do go to run nitrous, it increases the chance of possibly having some detonation. So we really need to get this issue resolved. We did get a cool picture. Ryan got a cool picture of Squeaky blowing a smoke ring down at XRP when we were down there a couple weeks ago. But I don't need to be known for blowing smoke rings. I want this thing to run cleaner. It's a little bit frustrating because I put a lot of time and effort into this engine, and I could have put that time and effort into one of my big blocks, and the money I'm putting in this thing, I could have had way more power. But we're having fun with this thing. I love the way it's running. It keeps getting faster and faster. That's why I don't think it's a ring issue. And to talk about the rings, they're low tension. I've got a lot of gap in them because we're planning on running power adder, so I want to not have any issues with it. So I've kind of played it off that it might be a ring issue, and kind of hope maybe it's seal up with some use, but it's not doing it. But after watching some videos and really trying to figure this situation out, Ryan and I discussed it while I was down there with him, and he's got the same idea that I do, that it's probably valve stem seals, just by the way it acts, because it doesn't do it all the time. It's mainly under decel or at really high RPM, or it's watching the videos, I kind of tell. I don't think it's the rings, but we're gonna do a compression test. We're gonna check the valve seals. We're gonna put a bore scope down through the cylinder head, see what the valves look like, maybe kind of see where that oil might be coming from. But before I do that, I'm gonna take all of this front end off, not the radiator support. I'll take the fenders and hood off, and take the headers off, get all that stuff out of the way, make it a lot easier to work on. So it really only takes me, I think last time it took me maybe 10 minutes to get this whole front end off and make it a whole lot easier to work on, especially being older and fatter. I don't like leaning over these stuff anymore, so I've just got the bare minimum of bolts holding this thing together, so it don't take me long to pull it apart. Everything's lightened up, so it's really light. So I'm gonna get this stuff off, and we're gonna start tearing into little 339, see what's going on. Well, it didn't take very long. The front end, still right around 10 minutes. Took me a little bit longer on that driver's side because I had my clamp for my hose for my valve cover breathers in the way. But yeah, to get to this point, it took me maybe 20-25 minutes. So we'll take a look at the spark plugs here. Let's leave them where they are so I don't get them mixed up. This is 8, 6, 4, 2. On this side 2 is possibly the dirtiest, and these aren't super clean because it does have quite a bit of idle time on it, just idling off the trailer and around the place, moving in and out of shop. They don't look too awful bad. I'll have to get a flashlight. Where'd it go? It's on the other side. We'll go look at the other side. Spark plugs are about the same. All of them look to be burning just a little bit of oil. Let's see. Number 1 on this side seemed to be the worst. But looking through the exhaust ports, all the valves look pretty good. I don't see any seepage from the valve stem seals on these. The stems would be oily if they were leaking through the valve guides. Number 5 looks like the top of the valve's got just a hint of a residue oil on it, but nothing caked up or nothing. You don't see any seals that are like shredded or nothing. I've got plenty of room. I could run a bigger can without anything hitting. So everything looks good so far. That could be a good or a bad thing. Sometimes I like to find it right off the bat, but we're still gonna be digging. I'm gonna try to find my starter button thing so I could turn this thing over and do a compression test, but I'm not finding it. I may have to run to town and get a new one or make something real quick. But I'm gonna do a compression test real quick and write all that down. This give us a good wellness check on Squeaky, see what's going on. I went to town and got me a little trigger dealie. I couldn't find mine. I've got my compression tester set up. I've already checked all the holes except for number 2 here. I went ahead and pulled the carburetor, because whenever you're doing a compression test, you want to either have your throttle either wired all the way open or stuck all the way open, or in this case I'm going to pull the carburetor off because I'm going to run a bore scope down the intake anyways, check, see what's going on there. But so far everything looks great on the compression. And I'll show you what we got here in just a second. We'll go ahead and take the test on this one and see what we got. Alright, I got all my numbers wrote down. We're 140 at the lowest and 150 at the highest, so that is perfectly okay as far as compression goes. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but you know, this thing isn't losing any power. It keeps getting faster and faster every time we get to the track, or staying the same. It's not getting any worse. Bye, Connor. Later. Boys stopped by to grab some parts out of the Field of Dreams. So yeah, we're gonna run a bore scope down the intake, see what the intake valves look like, see if there's some oil. You know, it may be the intake gasket that's sucking a little bit of oil in, but that's a lot of oil for an intake gasket. I don't know. Let's hook up the bore scope and see what it says. This bore scope I got, it's just a $20 cheapie off of Amazon. Now, it's not the greatest. I wish it was one you could kind of control and move around or had a better picture, but so far it just plugs into the phone. It has adapters for iPhone or USB-C or the other type of deal, so it plugs in about any phone. You just download the app and you've got pictures on your phone, which I'll instead of showing my phone, I'll just put it on the camera on the screen, what you're seeing, and you just go down in there and look around, get a good eyeball on what you got. And so far, let's see, most of the cylinders look like the valves are pretty oily. Not super oily, but oily enough that it looks like there's oil getting sucked down through the intake valve seat or valve guide. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is do valve guide seals and hope that solves some of it. Do I get the camera down in there close enough? I might be able to, but I could pretty much see the intake runners, and there's not any, doesn't look like there's any oil residue coming around the intake runners where it mates to the head. So I think it's just our valve guide seals. Alright, I'm gonna scope these cylinders, make sure we don't have anything bad wrong inside the cylinders. Number one's looking pretty good. It's kind of hard to get an angle in here. This thing doesn't, it's got an adapter I could put on it that does the right angle, but it's a mirror and it's not very clear. So I'm just been trying to manipulate around there, take a look, see what's anything going, or if there's anything going on in there. So far the cylinders look fairly good, so we'll call it a win on the cylinders. Now we got to pull the girdles off, rocker arms off, start pulling springs off and doing that. I'm not going to do an in-depth how-to on that. I do have a video, it's an older video. Some of my older videos aren't the best quality, but some of my newer ones aren't the best quality. Yeah. I'm not a movie person. I'm just trying to record stuff and show it to you guys, so maybe you can learn something, or maybe be a little entertained, or I don't know, just kill time, whatever you want to do while you're watching my videos. But we gotta tear it apart and check out the seals. I'm probably just gonna do all the seals, intake and exhaust, just to be done with it. I don't see any of the exhaust valves that have any oil residue. I'm gonna be pretty disappointed if this don't help with the oil system or the oil problem, smoke show. But you know what? If this don't fix it, we're just gonna send it for the Tailgate Throwdown. Oh, and what's the Tailgate Throwdown, you might be asking? It is gonna be the Midwest biggest, baddest truck-only drag race event, Newport, Arkansas, October 11th through the 13th. You guys need to show up either with your trucks or to show up with your family and spectate. We've got mini truck or mini street, full-size street, stick shift class, and 2810.5 with stock style suspension. Then we have the mini outlaw and full-size outlaw. For more information on that, rules and all that stuff, go to our Facebook group page, the Tailgate Throwdown group page. It's a public page, so you can jump in there, ask questions. We try to have a live on my Facebook page about every Sunday at about 7:30. So if you want more information on the Tailgate Throwdown, go check us out there. And here's a little tech tip for you. If you have a situation where you can't really get the right Allen key in there, get everything just right, or you just need more leverage on your Allen key, use the same size socket. This is a 7/32. You got a 7/32 socket and extension. And then you've got more leverage on your hex key. I got the rocker arms, push rods, all that stuff out. Got it organized, keep them in order. I've got the oil holes, return holes plugged off so I don't drop a valve keeper or anything down inside and end up having to pull the motor and do all that. So the next thing I'm gonna have to do is get our little adapter here that screws into the cylinder, and I'll bring this, whatever cylinder I'm working on, I'll bring it up to top dead center. Then I'll use a ratchet to kind of lock it in place so it doesn't move down, and then pressurize that cylinder with shop air. Now if you don't have shop air, in my other video I showed where you can use rope. I'll do the same kind of thing but put some rope in there, because the main thing is once you get these valve keepers and everything off, you don't want that valve to drop down in the cylinder. I mean, worst case scenario, you have to pull the head, but try not to get through all that work. But for right now, I'm going to try this. This usually works pretty good for me. I don't have any good clean rope, so we're going to use the air method, and hopefully it all works out. And then meanwhile, I got Mrs. Squarebody back there lounging around, doing her social media stuff, and Tex is helping out too. I'm kind of sweaty because they both stole my fan. They don't care. All right, so let's get these valve springs off and start replacing some valve seals. I'm hoping I got the right valve seals. I wasn't sure of the diameter of the valve guide on these heads, so I just ordered some standard 11/32 small block Chevy Felpro valve seals. Hopefully they will work. Well, I might have to do something different. These angle plug heads have the plugs actually angled right to the frame, and I can't get my fitting on there. It's just, I'll have to see if I've got an elbow or something to put on that, or maybe I got a short piece of rubber hose. Yeah, put in that fitting. We'll figure something out, because that's how we do it on Squarebody Stuff. Well, this is what I come up with. I probably wouldn't suggest this. It's just the fitting that I was using. Piece of AN-6 line. They didn't have the extra air hose to put on here. And then another fitting. It's not right, I hope it'll work. The Captain Morgan said it would be fine, so I'm gonna take his judgment and we're gonna roll with it, see what happens. Let's see if this works. Well, I hope it stays holding and I don't have to pull ahead. Alright, I know it may be hard to focus on this, see what's going on. You see how much sealing surface these old seals have versus how much sealing surface these have? It's a lot more. Yeah, I think this may cure most of our smoking problem. Alright, one down, 15 more to go. My valve seals that I got work just fine, so we'll put them in. And yeah, we'll probably resume this video in the morning. I'm just going to go through all these, knock them out this afternoon, get it back all together. By the time I do that, it's probably going to be late tonight, and I'm going to try to turn in early. And yeah, then we'll resume in the morning, fire this thing up, and hopefully not have any more smoke, or at least a lot less smoke. Ready to go to Shop Tech? Let's go shop and play with Squeaky. Come on. Come on. Come on. Show them how fast you are, how you can jump. Well, good morning, everybody. The valve seal installation project went very smooth last night. Actually went way better than I thought it would. Oh, my little hummingbird's still in here. Poor guy. At one point in time, I was standing here at the table, and that little guy come down and stuck his nose down in these little jets to get something, I don't know. I'll try to get him out of here sometime today. He won't last much longer. But anyhow, I'm gonna get the shop opened up. We'll get Squeaky fired up. I did fire him up and just let him idle and stuff and double checked everything before I went to bed last night. But we'll pull him out, see if this smoking situation is any better. And like I said earlier, if it's not completely smoke free, I'm just going to send it and we'll do Tailgate Throwdown and we'll play around the rest of the year, and then probably pull it out and I guess probably re-ring it if it's still smoking a little bit, figure out what's going on there. But I think it's going to be better. Can't be much worse. So far it's not puffing out any smoke. but it never really did at idle, especially when it was cold. So I'm gonna let him sit there and warm up and get plenty of heat in him, and then we'll start revving him up, see what happens. Going from our videos at the drag strip, if I got on the two-step like 6,000 RPM, it really puffed some smoke. So we'll see. What do you think, Tex? Is it fixed? Yeah, it just looks like we're going to be putting on a smoke show. That's how it goes sometimes, folks. I don't know. The cylinders look pretty decent when I scoped them. But anyhow, it is what it is for now. We tried. And we're going to do quite a few other things while I've got the front end off. I want to probably paint the headers. I've been wanting to paint them white. We'll get that done and a few other things, I don't know. Get ready for Tailgate Throwdown. Yeah, it is what it is. We'll pull this thing out this winter, freshen it up, see what's going on, and hopefully it ain't too bad. I can't imagine it's too bad because I don't know. We'll figure it out later, or we may end up just blowing it up. I don't know. Hope not. But anyways, whatever we do to this thing, it'll be on this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this with your friends and family and everybody. Also hit that join button down below and you can join our membership where you get videos before everybody else does, and that's a few other perks. 99 cents a month. Join in. You got anything else, Tex? No, just gonna chew on your bone. Alright, so until next time, you know, keep your square bodies rolling, and hopefully yours don't smoke as bad as mine, and I'll catch you later. So I'm sitting here on the couch editing this video, and it's kind of dawned on me what the issue really might be. Because it happens mainly at high RPMs. So I'm really thinking it's ring flutter, which if the rings don't have enough tension on them, they'll start fluttering and lose seal, which that makes sense because intake gaskets are fine, valve seals are new, that didn't change anything. Yeah, so I mean the compression is good. So that's about the only thing it can be. So at this point, it's got me a little worried about even spraying it. If it starts fluttering while I'm spraying it, it could cause a lot of damage. But, you know, maybe the extra pressure from the spray will help seal them up. I'm not sure. So anyways, that's where we're at on that. I just wanted to jump in and give you guys an idea of, I think I figured it out.